Good morning. This is Brian Cummings. I'm the Director of Training and Development for the E-Commerce Business School. You're viewing our Voice of E-Commerce. Today is day 2 of our big 4-day grand opening. We're celebrating with a brand new free membership available to all of you. Our goal in this weekend, our open house, is to let everyone know that we are a community, an e-commerce training community of real people. We have a lot of go-givers here, and our community supports and empowers each other as we build and grow thriving e-commerce businesses. So I'm thrilled that you're all watching. We have a URL for you, a link for you here, joinebs.com. So type in joinebs.com. You can check out our membership and learn more about our community. I want to introduce to you Christina Leo. She's one of our community members. She's practiced a couple of different business models on Amazon. I know that she brings her own wealth of experience. I believe she's a CPA. Is that right, Christina?
Yes,
Yes.
former CPA.
Former CPA, now full-time e-commerce professional. She is a consistent performer in our community. I think it was just August. I saw a post that you had made. You hit your goal, a monthly goal of $10,000 in revenue from books alone, book flipping. It was 97% selling books
Yes,
on Amazon. Is that right?
that's correct.
Yeah, yeah. So she posts her accountability reports, as we call them, in our community. Um, I always enjoy talking with her at events that we put on, and I'm really thrilled to have this interview with her this morning. So, welcome, Christina.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for having me.
Would you mind sharing a little bit how you found our community, what drew you into our community?
Sure. Um, I guess, I was a former CPA, and, it was really my kids that when they came along, and that was my motivation in terms of wanting to make a change in my life. At the time, I was working a lot of hours in a corporate environment. So in about, I think 2010, somehow I came across Ant's marketing manifesto. I forget what it was called. I think Attraction Marketing Manifesto. And and I really was drawn to her style of being upfront and being honest about the business of marketing. And at the time, I was getting into a company in network marketing. So I was just searching and I'm a learner too. I'm a lifetime learner. I mean, I love reading and learning and just applying. And I came across Ant's manifesto, and I was really, really drawn to it. And then over time, I kind of experimented with different, I guess, business models. And, at the time, a lot of people were getting onto buying courses, and I was the same too. I spent thousands of dollars on different courses, but really didn't get much results. And I got off of all of those lists. And that was back in 2010 and 2012.
Now, these,
And
excuse me, these were courses with Anne or with some
every
other
some other
trainings?
Yeah, it's just I wanted to learn about internet marketing because it was a very attractive industry to me because I could see the possibility of having flexibility. And at the time, I wanted flexibility in my schedule. I wanted time flexibility
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to be there for my kids, and they were so little at the time. And but I got off all of those lists, but I stay on Anne's list. And there's a reason, and I'm a very heart-centered type of person. I go with intuition, and I just felt Anne's message is always so genuine and it's filled with integrity, and over the years I stayed on the list, but there wasn't anything else that was attracting me back. I guess she was promoting quite a few different products, but it was when book flipping came out, and because I love books, and I thought, well, this could be a great complementary to what I was doing. And I basically had stay in the direct sales industry. And when I came across a book flipping course, and I thought, hey, why not just spend a couple $100 and test it out and see if it works? And And you had written the manual, Brian, and
Yes.
I'm so appreciative to this day for having come across that. And I read the manual front to back and just started taking books off my shelf and doing some scanning. And my husband was like, well, just send it in. Let's see what happens. See if this $200 you're going to get back. But then I did that, and the book literally sold within a day or two once it reached the warehouse. So that really built the confidence in me. So then I just started going out and applying what was taught in the manual. But it was, go ahead.
So just to let everybody else know, when we talk about book flipping, we're talking about finding used books, whether they're from your home or other sources, and then sending them to Amazon, where they put them in their warehouse, and they're put up for sale, and customers can buy them, and they get shipped right to the customer. Correct?
Correct.
And so you built a business sending in books to Amazon, growing your inventory, doing this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, just starting slowly, but I knew that I need to ramp up my learning. So I just actively go out and scan, and then, and I think one of the biggest hurdle for most people is really getting that process, getting over the hurdle of getting the item listed and then packing it and shipping it. Even though it's not really a difficult process, but a lot of people kind of scan books and then just kind of sat on it for a little bit because that final hurdle.
Yes.
But then once you get over that, it was mind-boggling to me that, wow, you could really just cash flow this really quickly. And because I enjoy being around books, so for me that was such a perfect complement to whatever I'm doing. And so so I just, that's how. And I got into EBS, from the initial course, and then it's just from applying the knowledge in the manual. And I felt that there were things that there were questions I need answers to. And I actively started participating and reading the Facebook groups. And this is where really the community of EBS really shines. All of the different Facebook group that's been created to allow a forum for newcomers to build confidence, and then to ask questions, and having people helping you through that process. And we often talk about solopreneurs. I mean, if you're, having your own home-based business, and a lot of time we're the one-man person that runs everything. But being part of a community, I think it's just so important, because everyone is going on the same path, whether their final destination might be different, but it's a chosen path that we choose, that e-commerce is a path that's going to help lead us to where we want to go. Whether it's financial stability or whether it's time flexibility. And it is work, but I think it's work that's really satisfying. And I think the community really shine in that respect, that in helping people to get over that mental and emotional hurdle. It's like, can I do it? Or having self-doubts, like, really? I mean, I've come across so many things that sell business, that sells business ideas and business opportunities. Will this work? Right? It's always in their minds, like, will this work for me? It sounds like it will work for everybody else. It sounds so great. But this is really a community of people that are actually doing it and sharing their results, whether it's good or not so good, but it's sharing our learning and sharing our challenges. But then it's also sharing our mistakes. By sharing our mistake, this is the best way for us to learn and excel. So having that courage and being fearless about it, and to go about and say, well, if they could do it, why not give yourself a chance to try to do it, right? And I don't like to kind of embellish it in terms like, okay, you're gonna make money. I mean, literally, this is really a good cash flow business, but you really have to learn the process, apply it, and continuously applying. And when I had questions after applying what was in the manual, it was the workshops that really attracted me to get myself to the next level, so to speak.
Can you say more about that?
I'm sorry?
Can you say more about that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think it was after working through the business for a few months, and I came across and was saying that there is going to be workshops, and you're going to get not one-to-one, but it's more like a more higher level of teaching and learning, and also interacting with all the coaches and trainers. And in my head, I go to a lot of live events in the past, and I thought, well, I hope it's not just a selling fest, of different things. but it was really, was so glad that first I bought the course, and second thing is I attended the workshop, because the workshop, um, first you get to meet a lot of people, and then you really get the feel of the community, because we're our business is so focused on the internet. Oftentimes we lose that face-to-face interaction with people, and it's through that you could really, and as I said, because I'm such a heart-centered person, I could feel the vibration and I could feel the energy. And the energy at the workshop is just tremendous, because there's this genuine um, uh, kind of desire for everyone to try to help each other, because we're all are trying to make a better life for ourselves in any which way that we want. And this is a vehicle. And from after attending the workshop, then my business just continued to grow. And then I decided I wanted to continue to excel, and I joined the EMP program. And that's where I think with Ann's process of setting up accountability report, and then all the different support through the check and adjust call, I was able to get a lot of questions answered. And I felt like, wow, oh my God, things that I would have tried to, struggle on my own, trying to figure out. And because I'm a self-driven type of learner, a lot of time I'll go through books, I'll find things and try to piece it together and try to solve it on my own. But then this is where my learning also came in from, is really to kind of see it. It's like, oh my God, I should just ask this question. And between you, Coach Kurt, Justin, Ann, and Sarah Sudas, all the coaches, and Danita, I was able to gain so much insight and go and able to kind of, get through the hurdles that I have, every single hurdle. And it's almost like I see as rocks in the path that we try to get to where we want to go. And then these coaches are the one that say, well, this is how you pick up this rock, and then gradually your path start becoming more clear. And, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, and I was just, so in awe of the last 3 years that I've been involved in EBS. And I just feel so grateful, because the time flexibility factor was important to me, but now I'm building towards the financial flexibility, so then I could do what I would like to do with my life, and to live a healthy and mindful life, helping other people, So yeah, so I'm really glad to be here.
You are such a pleasure to work with. Not that that's an exceptional thing in our community. It's really not. We seem to attract real givers, and the people that not only enjoy that connection and feel like, oh, I can get my answers here. It's a safe place to ask these questions, but also it's people that really want to contribute. You mentioned EMP, and that's our e-commerce masters program. This is a more advanced level in our community. Not that you have to be more advanced in your business, but just that there's an increased level of support and more access to all the coaches. There is more training involved in that. So did you notice when you joined EMP that there was a up level in your business? Was it instrumental? Was joining EMP instrumental in increasing your results?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's because we are solopreneurs, we kind of hold ourselves accountable, but at the same time, not really, because we kind of sometimes we kind of just say, okay, I'm going to work on this a little more, or, and then basically you get distracted by the short-term need to do certain things, right?
Yes.
But I think with EMP, with the Ann has us kind of write our accountability report. And in the beginning, I just thought, well, I know what I'm going to do. I already know what I'm going to do tomorrow, et cetera. But she really created a process for us to sit back and then to assess where we are, where we want to go. And I think, if we were to take a lot of kind of self-development type of courses, they do teach you these things. But specifically, she's teaching it in a e-commerce perspective. Also, it's what are the different path that you could utilize, what EBS offers to help us get there. But then it's really, again, it's to sit back and to assess and to evaluate what is it that end goal that you want to be. Visualize where you want to be in 5 years, and then kind of like realizing, saying that that's where you're going to be and this is where you are. It's like a car, with a map that, this is how you get there by following these routes. But I think for me, because I'm a self-starter, but then it was that process that she implemented with EMP, that when I created that whole mapping process, it really helped me see where I'm lacking and where what I need to do. And then it is honing it down, right, from the big picture down to the weekly accountability report, and then to your day-to-day task, and then trying to realize that vision that you have. And it was definitely instrumental in helping me from a personal productivity perspective. And I just get so much more done, having a better focus in terms of looking at your monthly and weekly goals. And I can definitely see, my business slipping a little bit when I'm not doing that. So
that's so true for me as well. So those daily routines, and that was something you mentioned to me, that you have a morning routine, an end of day routine that keeps you on track. Would you like to say a little more about that?
Yeah, definitely. My morning routine, I start my day actually really quite early. I'm up at about between 4 and 4:30 every day. And before I do anything, I actually meditate.
Mm-hmm.
I meditate for about at least probably 45 minutes to an hour now. But that meditation is helping me staying focused and really quiet down all the noises. And it's really good to do it in the morning because you're not getting into the emails, the texts, and answering messages, etc. But then it clears you. You wake up with a clear mind, and that clear mind oftentimes is through those meditation that I'm able to come to a inspiration or something that I'm trying to solve, and all of a sudden it just comes to me because I don't have noises bothering me. I always tell people it's kind of like you have to see yourself as the eye of the storm. You got to be center and quiet, even though everything else is spinning around you, because it's only through that quietness that you could really truly hear from within your heart what the answer is. And this is actually, I just finished reading a book, and it just a little side note. It's called Becoming Supernatural. That is an awesome book, and it really explained why meditation actually helps you physically, mentally, everything to become more grounded. But anyway, so that's what I do, and then after that, then I exercise. I do my qigong. It's like a Tai Chi form, but it's a shorter form, and that's something that increases energy and increase flexibility. Because for me, priority is, it is health. I need to be healthy. I need to be at my A game in terms of mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, everything. I need to be solid, and so then any challenge that's thrown my way, I know how to handle it. And because of this stability in terms of meditation that helps me stay grounded, I don't get fazed by something get thrown at me. I'm able to see it clearly for the urgency that it needs, or whatnot, whether I need to deal with it right away or not. So I don't let it throw me off track. So then I've got 2 kids that I still take care of. So so the morning routine is, once I take care of myself, I take care of my family. And then once they're off to school, I start my work day. And then by 2:30 they get off school, my time is given to the kids again. But then they're getting older, so I have a little more flexibility. So in between of dropping them off at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class or piano class, whatnot, and I try to just squeeze in time that I could listen to audible books, or I could I just sometimes even getting on Facebook Live if somebody's on live. So it's taking those little chunks of time and then just trying to maximize it. But I also give myself breaks. I don't, I've tried in the past where I work, consistently hours for hour, and then I find my productivity just continue to go down. And this is where it's so important to allow yourself a little bit of a break. And what I find interesting too is, like, for me to do those breaks is, when I'm out, book scanning. I might just kind of decided, okay, let me walk around the store and just see if what my kids need, right? Or like if I'm working at home, working on my marketing funnel, and after you sit in front of a computer for a little while, it gets a little bit, you could feel a little fatigue, from your eyes, from your sitting posture.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just get up and I exercise, or I go and clean my books because it's a different type of activity. It's kind of blending all of those in. And then by the end of the day, once the kids come home, I do need to take care of the household stuff, cook dinner for them. And I'm really proud to say we're a family that we eat dinner together every single night at the dinner table. And we catch up, we talk about what the kids have done. And I think this is so important too, in terms of, whether it's working with kids or working with other adults, it's again, it's the mindset. We share experiences, and then having other perspective coming in, and it's kind of like, have you thought about this? Maybe, this person didn't mean to say that to you. So again, it's our mindset that we've been conditioning ourselves to believe things a certain way. So in order for us to learn new things, we actually have to kind of get rid of some of the stuff that may not be as useful from the past anymore, is to get rid of that. And then so that you could continue to explore and be challenged by new things. And that's the only way we grow as a person. And physiology, from a physical perspective, our brain needs to continue to be challenged. And I think in our space, we continue to have to be up to date with all the things that we need to learn from a technology perspective, business perspective, all of that. So
It, being a solopreneur, entrepreneur, there's a lot of stuff that comes up. And you've got to be flexible, adaptable, take on all this new things that happen. There's quite often there's the unexpected that pops up in the middle of the day, and it is just the life of being an entrepreneur. But it strikes me that you, in particular, have less angst on a day-to-day basis. You think that's true?
that is true. I think again, it goes back down to what is it that I want in life. I want time flexibility, which I have. I want financial flexibility. And my husband and I, we set a goal on what we wanted to do. And he provides a stable income for me, and it's for me to explore different ways for us to be able to reach a higher level of financial freedom. So I keep that kind of vision in my head. That's where I need to be. And I don't want to get overly bogged down by the short-term angst. Okay, my sale didn't go up today, and I'm like, oh, or getting anxious about it. And I think it's just you have to kind of see it for the long term. And I think, sometimes that might come at a cost because I'm not pushing myself as hard, but I want myself to be able to be, it's more of an endurance test versus a short-term sprint. That's the way I kind of see it. And being in the entrepreneur space, I feel like I'm so blessed to be able to first be in this community that I'm exposed to what's out there. So I sign on to the print on demand because I want to learn about that, because I don't know, because technology and, our, everything is changing so quickly, but it's not for us to try to change with it all the time, but it's to continue to be aware of what's going on out there and take what's out there to see what fits with what you're doing and how that fits with your long-term vision. So I take it more of, it's interesting, if you think of a tortoise and the hare, I always see myself kind of like the hare. I don't like to jump too fast, but sometimes at a cost. I'm not creating revenue really fast in a short-term period of time, but I do want to, I see it as more of a long-term thing. But being, the book flipping business, I see myself like, I would never give that up. But why would I give it up when I could go and look at books and, finding books that I would have had to purchase, it just is, it complements what I do because I like to learn. I love to learn. And I'm always challenging myself to say, if I have to teach somebody this, how would I explain it? And it's from that process that I go back to the learning again. Is this is what piece I'm missing, because I'm, I didn't really fully get it. Okay, let me go back and look at the, whatever it is I'm trying to gain knowledge on. Okay, this is where that's missing, and that takes time. And I think that does take time, but it helps me build a solid foundation. That's the way I see it. I'm more of the person that kind of like, okay, build a solid foundation. As you continue to build up, it's stable, it's solid, and then, so.
I'm not surprised that you're in this community. You're so much of a match. Anne has been. This community's been going on for, I think, 13 years with her. I'm not even sure if it's 13 or 14 years. Coach Kurt's been with her 11, 12 years. It's only been 4 years for me. We're here for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a match for what you're speaking to about this being an endurance run, because there's a lot of fly-by-night kind of operations out there. Let's put up a product and training and sell it, and then we jump on to the next one. And I think that many of us at the e-commerce business school see it more as, yeah, we want more training, but we keep building, and they're building blocks. And then the earlier trainings that we've had, like the book flipping profit system, that we sell, it's still here, and people are still working it. It's been 10 years for me, and I'm still selling books. And it's been 3 years now for you. I don't know how long ago we introduced that.
About 3 years, almost 3 years.
And you are still selling books, even though there's other things that you want to do with your business.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's provided consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real match with who you are.
Yeah, I just feel really blessed to have found this community. And, you're all such go-givers. I mean, I just can't speak enough of, because one of the things is we don't know what we don't know too, right? But it's the exposure to the different knowledge that's in the community. All the coaches are bringing in different, I guess, development out in the marketplace. And then it's for us to, because we're a lot of time we're in the weeds. We're like, okay, we got to get all these things done. But then you kind of have to step back and say, where's the world going? What are we doing? Right. And then see how yourself fit in this picture. And I think that's where I'm really glad to be connected with EBS, because just looking at the Facebook feed, I can see what's going on out there. And yeah, not everything will fit with what I'm doing, but at least I'm aware of it. But maybe down the road, that's something that might not have fit in the current puzzle. All of a sudden, it's the missing piece that you need. So it's being aware of that and knowing, and with the expectation that the world is changing, and we have to be updated on what's, to keep ourselves, I guess, competitive. That's what I'm trying to say.
Updated and adaptable.
Yeah, exactly.
Christina, it's what a pleasure it is to chat with you on this. I'm so glad you've chosen to spend your morning with me. You are a morning person like I am. We're both on the West Coast, and started at 7 a.m. here. And thank you for spending part of your holiday weekend with me too.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I really hope that more people will see the value that EBS brings to. I mean, it's not just to people that are in the entrepreneurial space, but really anyone that's looking for something to, as a side thing to supplement their current income. I think EBS is such a great place to be, and I'm so glad that I'm part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I want to remind everybody that's watching this that you can type in joinebs.com and come check us out and meet some of our staff and members like Christina Leo. Christina, thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.